So yeah. How many of these are we gonna make?
Well, we were thinking maybe for as long as you live. I'm not really exactly
Wait,
sure.
what do you mean? Hi, I am Noah, co-founder of Hanxious Entertainment, and I am going to present to you our very first work in progress video. This is going to be about our project submission for the Cinematic Captures Star Wars fan film contest, which is due next month. Here's to hoping that we could submit everything on time. Let's first go over the first design of the ship, which got eventually scrapped. The first major problem I created was that I started modeling the interior instead of the exterior. In some cases, that may not be a bad thing. In this case, however, I needed the ship silhouette to come out as I had wanted, so this one won't be flying soon. You can also see some poor modeling techniques I made, especially on the front, right after I changed the wing shape. During that time, I thought it would be nice to resemble Snoke's The Supremacy, but still it didn't feel right. I tried to salvage it by trying to look at it from the render preview to find some points to add and change, but I figured it was beyond saving. I might use the design though and improve upon it for another spacecraft in the future if we are to make another Star Wars short again. With all the mistakes I made from the previous ship, I redid everything and started from the exterior. In this way, I got the silhouette I wanted with the major change of the wings' angles and the sharpness of the corners on the wingtips. Right then and there, I thought I had the right ship design, even if it deviated from my rough sketches. I added greebles shortly after, and then, because of a better modeling technique, I managed to create the cockpit and the front windscreen beautifully. Greebles, by the way, for those who do not know, is the correct term for those random sci-fi stuff you see on spaceships. Nobody knows why those things are placed there, but they sure look cool. At this point, I made sure the entire vehicle's edges are natural and blend well with other edges, especially on the transitions from sharp to smooth. Using the bevel modifier, which gave me the ability to create bevels that can be changed way later in the project, I defined the edges that needed to be beveled. After that, I added a subdivision surface modifier to create that realistic finish. After that, I started creating the seat to have a better sense of scale of the spacecraft and prepare for blocking out the necessary consoles the pilot would need inside to ensure realistic interior shots. I'll be creating the pilot after finalizing the ship. I went back outside, however, to finish placing the rest of the greebles on the other parts of the ship, and then I added 4 blasters up front. This may be a small spacecraft, but it can pack a punch, that is, if there is remaining ammunition. Thrusters sometimes define the coolness of a spaceship too. That's why I made sure there was a huge gold-colored coil wrapping around each thruster that may help in propulsion. I don't know. I attempted to create greebles on the wings but quickly realized that those would not look good at all, probably because the curves are very smooth as they emerge from the sharp angles from the wings. At that point, I decided to have very few but ship-spanning lines through shading later on to sell the effect that the exterior hull is composed of big chunks of molded metal. I went back to the interior and started putting the consoles of the vehicle. I did not make enough research for what makes a spaceship's interior, but since it's sci-fi and I had something called common sense that works sometimes, I modeled them one by one. I should have blocked them, but I figured that if I model the consoles one part at a time, I would be able to pack as much functionality into each chunk, minimizing clutter. After taking pretty much a dozen hours modeling the interior consoles, I started to create a UDIM for the ship. This would allow me to separate the ship's surface into big texture areas to maximize the detail. Everything went right up until the actual texture painting part, because Blender would max out the RAM usage of my computer and at one point froze the PC, then restarted itself. Substance Painter could have worked too, but after a mock test of applying the subdivision modifier, I feared the texturing would just go wrong in the end. After that, I made myself a pretty intermediate node setup. That's right, most of the ship is procedurally textured, meaning the computer does most of the work for me. One great thing about it is that I can change the look of the spacecraft on the fly if there's a need. It took me a while to make it work, especially since the first color pattern made it look like something Vector from Despicable Me would make. Can't unsee it? Me too. After a couple of changes and off-screen adjustments, including an eventual shift to Blender's Eevee render engine instead of the path-tracing realistic-looking Cycles engine, I made a test flight scene to see if everything goes well. Enjoy! So that was it, our first work in progress video. If you like what you saw, leave a like and subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss our next videos. If you have any questions on things that you've seen here, leave a comment below. We'd be happy to reply. Don't expect us to post as regularly though. Nursing is hard, and so is this one. I'm handling two hard things at the same time. Stay safe and see you next time.